All right. Good morning, everyone. Well, it's about 8:30, so we've got about an hour to the bell. And as I sit here looking at the scans, one of the first things I'm thinking about, of course, is how things finished for me last week. So I had a couple of really good days last week, as you may recall. I finished the week up about $150,000, but on Thursday, I was up 50,000 and then gave back all of it on Sava. Finished the day red by 5,000 or something like that. Then I on Friday was up 73,000. Finished the day up 23,000. Gave back 50 off the top. So 2 days in a row giving back 50,000. Could have finished the week up 250, but pushed it a little too hard and gave back some gains, which is, I mean, it's part of the deal. It's fine, but that's going to make me a little bit, because that happened, a little bit more mindful today to try to keep profit in my pocket. So obviously, I've been doing the best pre-market, especially when we have some type of breaking news and something is moving up quickly. So that's what I'm going to look for. I've gotten distracted a little bit once the bell has rung with stocks that started popping up but didn't have maybe a really clear catalyst, and we're just on the high day Momo scanner. So, in some markets, high day Momo scanner can give some great ideas of something that's moving midday, but it just hasn't been the case in the last couple of trading sessions that has paid very well. So probably at the least, we'll be reducing share size. Now, PPSI is our leading gapper. It's coming into a flat top resistance area at 530, almost to the penny right there. So I'm not a buyer at this level as it comes into that resistance. It's got a float of 4.02 million shares, which is not bad. Float's pretty low. Does have some news that was out at 8 a.m. It's gone from 335 up to 535, so it's up 58%. That's all looking pretty good. Pioneer Power Solutions. This is a in the mobile EV charging station charging solutions. This was the headline here. So other stocks that are in a similar sector, BLNK. This is one that some people may focus on as well. EV sympathy, things like that. BLNK. So that sometimes we see a sector-wide kind of surge of momentum. We may see that today. We may not. I'm not sure. So PPSI is the leader. BLNK a little further behind, but on the gap scanner up 15%. BLNK price is a bit higher. Float is a bit higher. And after PPSI, you've got 5 stocks that are all higher float, and are probably not really ideal in my opinion. AUTL floats 70 million shares. So for me, and just to kind of throw it out there, especially for those tuning in on YouTube, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you've hit the thumbs up. I hope you're subscribed to the channel. Have a goal of trying to hit 1 million subscribers by the end of this year. If we do it, I'll do a small account challenge starting January 1st. So that's a reason to hit the thumbs up and share the YouTube channel with some friends. So, as always, I'll put up my disclaimer here as a reminder that trading is risky and my results are not typical. So you should assume as a beginner that you'll lose money. With that assumption, only trade with money you can afford to lose. Practice in a simulator before you go live. Now, I'm going to share my results with you, of course, here today. And it is important that you know that my results are real, verified, audited, proven, profitable. So you know the person you're learning from is credible. All right, so PPSI, leading gapper. I sit down and I look at the gap scan. So this is the scan of all the stocks gapping up. These scans are available for our students. So PPSI leading gapper. I know right away it's something worth looking at because it's up 54%. The price is $5 and the float's 4 million shares. Now, without looking at the chart, I don't know whether or not it's a buyout. But initially, I'm interested. AUTL with a 72 million share float, that by itself, I'm already thinking, probably not likely. It's not, unless it's a meme stock, and I don't think that it is, I probably wouldn't be particularly interested. So AUTL, if it gets over 750, maybe, but I have low expectations for a stock like this. Daily chart, it's not recent IPO, it's not blue sky, so it doesn't have those things that can help override a higher float, so no interest. TTD, this one, not very interested. 430 million share float. It's going to be very thickly traded stock. Lots of algos. Not interested. VLTA, 134 million share float. Somewhat recent IPO. So that one's a little bit better. All-time highs on it are, looks like up around 17, something like that, 18. So a little bit better, but not quite there yet. Next one down, EVGO. EV, is it, and it makes me wonder if it's EV related, electric vehicle related. Yep, and it is. So we're seeing again continuation in that sector. All-time highs on this one up around 24 or so. Okay, 24.34. Okay, BLNK is moving a little bit higher as well. So that's EVGO, BLNK now up 17%. Again, the float's a bit higher, the price is a bit higher. It's not a particularly recent IPO setup or anything like that, so it does carry some risk, I think. Tesla gapping down a little bit on the news. It seems that the survey or the poll, the Twitter poll, has indicated that Elon Musk should go ahead and sell 10% of his stake, which is a significant stake. Tesla floats 816 million shares, but I think I read that his 10% is like 170 million. I don't know. Maybe he has to exercise options to do it. I'm not really sure. Anyways, so that's Tesla. PPSI. MYNZ. So this was an IPO from Friday. I took a trade on it and lost. And I'm going to kind of put a note to self probably to avoid IPOs. You know, the last two IPOs that I traded on the IPO day that were these kind of like small cap stocks, I really did not do well on. So I took a $30,000 loss on this. It just totally reversed. That was disappointing. BLNK moving a bit higher from 35.50 up to 37.50. Daily chart is tricky though because there's not really an obvious. It's blue sky is far away. Don't really see an obvious trigger. Maybe there's resistance up in this area, 37 actually. So this is one of those ones where the chart doesn't really look that great. PPSI is still the leading gapper, but it's not what I would call parabolic. It made, I mean, again, this is all, it's all relative, but in our current market, this is not strong enough. And the volume you can see is dying down, so it's pulling back. So right now, just gonna be kind of sitting tight, waiting for something to pop up that looks a little bit more interesting. BKKT, let me look. Yeah, it started to curl a little bit on Friday. If you recall, pre-market, it squeezed from 33 up to 36. So it's, kind of started basing out a little bit here. Really, the 5-minute chart over a longer time frame. $32 sort of based out there. It's got a bit of a channel coming back down right in this area. So see how it's this wedge. FATBB, disappointed that it didn't hold up better yesterday. Yesterday's high or Friday's high was 31 from a pre-market high. It's at 19 right now. So let's see, a pivot on this would be probably over 27 and another one would be around 25. So if it broke over 25 and then over 27, that would be bullish. So you can kind of see how it's based out along this line, but then it broke it a little bit after hours going sideways. Pre-market was above it, but got back below it. So PPSI has that resistance level there. High is 48. It broke through 30. I'm not a buyer on this just yet, but we'll see how it trades through this area. So sitting tight for a few minutes. We'll see if either this opens up a bit more or something else shows up. So just sitting tight right now. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. Able to rest up a little bit, maybe, and get ready for the week ahead. I had to bring my dog to the 24-hour vet on Saturday. Not June. Don't worry. The other dog. He's the second most popular dog in our house. He definitely dropped a place after his episode on Saturday. He was walking funny. He was having a hard time standing up. Brought him to the vet. They said he was faking it. So came home 4 a.m. Didn't sleep well Saturday night. Yeah, I guess he just wanted a little extra attention. PPSI, this is the type of stock where it's a bit more thickly traded. Not a lot, but a little bit more thickly traded than some of the ones that we've seen. High there, 58. So I'm kind of recently a little bit more interested in stocks between maybe, well, 5 is not really a problem necessarily, but I like it more when they start at 5 and then move higher, because when they start to get crowded, and this is pretty thickly traded here in this level, it's hard to make a lot of money. For me to make decent money, I would need to take really big share size, and these breakouts aren't as big in terms of dollars per share. It just made a new high there by like 6 cents and then pulled back. So I would need this breaking over like 575, 585, 595, going to 6, 625, 650, 650, 675, 7. And I don't see it going up $2 a share at the moment. It's sort of extended. It already is up $2 a share, and I missed a good entry. In about 13 minutes, it'll be 9 a.m., and we'll see if we have breaking news at 9. That could give some fresh opportunities. No, it's a good thought. It's a good thought, Doug. Jack, well, and part of that is because we've been having stocks that start in the 8 to 10 and then go up to 12 to 15, 20 to 30. FATBB, that one went from $8 to $30. DWAC went from $8 to $175. So I think that when we have something that's been moving, that much, then it becomes something I'm focusing on pretty closely, because it's already shown the ability to be parabolic and make a pretty big move. Yeah, this guy's kind of wedged right in here. I don't know if I can get it wedged on the other side, maybe. Kind of tight quarters back there. Looks like that didn't help. So this is grinding price action. Grinding price action is a little difficult because you get the surges, but then it pulls back. It surges and then pulls back. So your high is 80. So what are the other levels on the daily chart? Like I said, these are tough because, I jump in like right there for the break of 80. I'm only up 4 cents a share at 84. Even with 10,000 shares, it's only $400. And, you don't really want to be punching the big orders up there right at the high when it's this extended on the 5, because you might end up catching a topping tail and then it reverses. So I'm keeping it on watch, but I have to wait for a better entry. If it starts to break away and move faster, then that could present an opportunity, but it feels like volume is declining here, so I'm concerned that it's coming into resistance. VLCN has some news, 9 million share float. Let's see. Well, it's about managing risk, because that 10,000 share position, I'm risking 10 cents, which is $1,000 to make only 200. So the risk reward ratio there isn't very good. Those look cool. So your high right now is 95. 10,000 share seller at 95. There's 97, 98, new high. Nice, David. Good job. Got green on PPSI. So let's see if it breaks and then comes back below. If it holds 6, then we can reestablish as 6 being support, but I'm not sure if it will. So let's just see. So it seems to be holding. So I'll take a starter there at 610 and then use my stop as $6. So the high there is 635. So my new ad is 635. Watching 26, adding at 27, 28, and taking some off the table at 35. So new order goes at 650. So what was critical here was that it broke 6 and held above it. I was then able to use $6 as my stop. Stop was 598, cost basis is 614. So now our new high is 638. New orders at 650. Micro pullback, watching, adding there 630. Now for the breakthrough 638 and 645. If we can break over 650, then 650 becomes the new support level for a move up to $7. So watching over the high here, which is 642. Unwinding the position for a small loss there. Stop was the low of this pullback, which was 620. I added at 630-ish, stopped at 620, 625. That may end up being a volume top through the highs, but new order would be at 42, which is our high a day. And I think it's important to watch it around 6 to see whether or not it holds support at $6. And I just realized I'm not in my retirement account, so I'm going to put that aside and now trade in the retirement account. Dip trade at 23, bought the dip. Now add is over 38 for a squeeze through the high. Watching for 38. So these dips are getting bought up, which is good to see. Looking for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. Now the PPSI is opening up close to 100%, moving a little faster. We'll see if we get that move up towards $7. Watching for a dip to add. Added at 20. So we're looking for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high, which is going to be over 35. So when I start seeing 28 and 29 print, I'll be adding to anticipate the break through 30. So there's 25 on the ask. I'm looking for 27 and 28. Added at 27, added at 28. Next adds 35 as it starts to lean up towards that level for new highs. There's 30, watching over 35. Right now feels like a little bit of a battle. Taking whatever it is, $195 off the table. I can come back for a dip closer to 6. Starter at 615, but only 4,000 shares. Double bottom there is 606. I was hoping to get in a little closer to 6. We're extended on the 5 minute chart. So I'm just going to take the profit there for now on that. Let it pull back again. This is the spot where if we had squeezed through 35, then I think we would have had short covering through 40, through the highs. But it pulled back. So I'm all out right now looking for the next entry. You can see we're extended on the 5 minute chart. The 1 minute is pulling back a little bit. Most brokers will let you set up a retirement account to day trade in. So it feels like it might break this yellow ascending support line. And then the question is, will it hold support around $6? If this breaks through 42, I would expect volume because it would be very, very bullish for that to happen, but it may not. It may continue to consolidate and pull back a little bit more. So I don't have much of a profit cushion in my retirement account. So see how it's coming down a little bit more. The 9 moving average is right there. The 20 is down in the 80s. But then at the same time, it does, I'll add at 25 there, just a starter. Let's see if it breaks through 45. There you go, there's 45. So that's a little short covering. I'm taking the profit off the table on that. Wasn't a big position, but I wish I had gotten an entry right down there on the low of that candle. Added back at 606, bought the dip. Looking for a bounce back up to 615. Watching at 602, support at 6. So you can see how you have the whip on that candle. The fact that we have that already, it's not ideal. Unwinding that position for a small loss. It ends up forming this fairly large red candle rejection, which on the 5-minute could just be the beginning of a pullback here. On the 1-minute, we actually got a break through the highs before that reversal. So watching now headlines at 9 a.m. BRQS is too cheap. So PPSI is our leading gapper, but let's see if anything else pops up that looks good. MGI, I'm a little hesitant on that one. Floats a bit higher. MoneyGram International. So wanting to focus on the obvious stocks. In order to be obvious, they should be moving quickly. PPSI, we got some action on it. Was able to ride that momentum on that break of 6. Held 6 and then 610 for the ad. That worked well. This on a 5-minute PPSI is still worth watching. The 20 moving average is right around 84. That could be a support level. But the first 5-minute candle to make a new high is not going to be for another 3 minutes. So this would be a little bit early for an entry. Maybe some ascending support there. So starter at 6. We'll just see if it curls back up to 610. And then 615. So watching right now for an ad over 610. Added at 10. See, now we're starting to bounce off that support level. So the next spot to watch is 618 and 622. It's still showing some good support. So what I'm going to do here on this is have orders around 6 to add at the whole dollar, or 25. So 625 for the upside add. So watching over 625. As it's curling up here, I'm going to watch 17 and 18, or support off of 6. So dip trades off of $6, or 625 for the breakout to the new high. Well, to the we'll see, maybe back up to the new high, 650. So right now, looking for the break back over 21. Watching for a dip, for an ad off of 610. Added 608, 607. Watch 615, 617 for the breakthrough 620. So now we're coming very close to the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, which is going to be right here over 619 in 30 seconds. So there's 17 on the ask. Then we have 18. So let's watch. There's 17 on the ask, looking for 18, then 19. 10 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. Then we're looking for a breakthrough 619, 620. First 5-minute candle to make a new high. That candle is now closed. 10,000 share bid. Added at 609 to buy the dip. Now looking for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high through 619. So there's 621. There we go. Happy with that. The question is, how much higher does it go? Taking profit into the breakout, I think, is the right approach. It is still extended on the 5. High of this candle is 635. Very nice first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Watching for dips again. We may end up seeing an ABCD pattern on this. The high there, 35, new high 48. So 35 is going to be probably the new trigger. Then 48. Watching. Starter 604. Bought the dip there off that yellow ascending support line. Holding small size now. That's enough, girl. Added back at $6, 601. Dip trade. Will it hold 6? Then add over 615. Looking for it to hold the psychological support of the whole dollar. Added at 603 as it's holding. Now looking for the curl back up through 612 and 615. You see how that's a bottoming tail candle? Bottoming tails like that are bullish. So there's 610, there's 611. So just trading in this range, 610, 611 is almost 10 cents from the 602 average. Took some profit. Watch for another dip off of the yellow ascending support. All out for now. So up 7,200 in my retirement, up 7,000 in my main account. So 14,000 on the day. Yeah, Joe, mostly. Nice work, GMAC. $1,000 on PPSI. That's great. So right now we're in a bit of an ABCD pattern. Pivot at 35. It's a bit top heavy still, so that carries some risk. TLSI, I'm not sure about that. Daily chart's pretty weak. Not sure if there's news on it. Let's see, granted FDA emergency use. Point of care tested for a COVID test. I don't know if that's really big news right now. There's a lot of other COVID tests that are already available. Yeah, so feels a little slow today, except for PPSI. We have one that's given some opportunity. Double bottom down there is at 87. I'm going to take a starter at 94 on PPSI. The reason, it's a double bottom setup right here off of 87. So there's 605. That's 10 cents. That's where I can take a little profit, and then I can look to add if it breaks over the high there of 613. New order goes at 613. So double bottom at 87, my entry was 94 average, holding right now. Added at 14. Average is now 605, looking for the breakthrough 15. So it's reclaiming 6, which is good. Sold for now at 610. We'll look for dip trades off of the $6 level, orders at 603. So put out the buy order, but did not fill at 603. So we said we're revamping the YouTube channel. So we're going to highlight all of the most popular content, and the older content we're archiving. We're going to make that available for our Warrior Pro students, but we're not wanting to keep as much free content out there. Watch over 15, 16. Added at 615 right there. Adding at 620. Now we're looking for a retest of 625. See how this is curling up here? Now 35 is the next add. Watching over 635. Added at 31. Looking for the breakthrough 635. And then we'll see if we get a retest of 650. This is looking pretty bullish right here. Nice big green candle. So I'm going to give it a moment, and the high there is 32. There's 33. Can we get 38 and 40? Watch for a dip. And then the breakthrough. Adding at 28 right there for the breakthrough 645. 635, then 645. So this is the most obvious stock today. This is certainly the one that's in play. High of that candle is 35. So that's our level that we're going to want to see break. And then we're going to have a target of 650. Added there and taking a little profit as it breaks. New order is at 45. So a quick add and then profit. Adding for the high of day break, and then profit as it breaks through to 38. Watching for a dip now. Added at 22 on the dip for the pop back up to 32, and out the rest at 21. New order goes at 40. Dip trade at 15, 17. Dip off that yellow ascending support line. Next add will be over 25. So we've got about 15 minutes to the bell. 90% gain right now on PPSI. Watching 6 area for dips. Volume higher on this 5-minute candle right here, which is good. Hit a high of 38. I wish it had retested 650 high a day. Still in at 617. Added at 18. That moment of pause there, that's kind of like low tide sometimes where it pauses and then starts to curl back up. So that's going to be an add spot. Still watching 635. High this 1 minute is 27. New orders at 35. So now that volume on this green candle is higher than the previous red candle. We still have 30 seconds left. High is 38. Watching for dips. And then the break through 30. Selling it for now. Let it pull back. So for lack of anything else to trade, this one is the most obvious stock today. Reminder as always for those watching the morning show on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. I hope you've hit the thumbs up and are subscribed to the channel. My goal is 1 million subscribers by the end of this year. And if we get there, I'll do a small account challenge starting on January 1st. I'd also remind you, as always, that trading is risky. My results are not typical, and you shouldn't try to blindly follow me or anyone else. Most beginner traders lose money, so you should assume that you will lose and not trade with money you can't afford to lose. And it's always better to practice in a simulator before you put real money on the line. Stocks like PPSI can be quite risky. They're very volatile. It's got a lot of range. The spreads, fortunately, aren't too bad on it, but it also feels like it might be one that is going to want to do some bull traps. We've already seen 2 of them. We saw a bull trap right here at 650, and we saw another one right about there. Those big red candles that followed the trap. So the high back there was 38. So there's sellers here, but let's see if it breaks. I have a starter at 36. I'm worried a little bit about a possible bear trap, but if it does just keep grinding higher. So we know our high is 48. Added at 27 on that dip. This is a 5-minute consolidation pattern. There's no question about that. So naturally the target would be a break through 650, and if we break that level and hold above 650, then we're looking at 665, 670, and a move up towards 7. About 11 minutes to the bell, 12 minutes to the bell. So I'm looking for a break over 640. Possible add spot would be around 642. Dips off of ascending support. So this is an area where I can start to work on accumulating for a breakout. Watching the chart. Accumulating on pullbacks for the squeeze through the high. Short covering likely through high a day, 48. So if we start seeing 40s print, that's where if I were short, I would be covering before it snaps through the high, because once it snaps through, then all of a sudden you're going to be getting slippage. This is about, yeah, this is a moving average pullback, certainly on the 1 minute. There's 32. Added at 17, accumulating on the dips. So you have that dip, bounces back up. Low was 13. I was able to add at 17, which was pretty good. Then over 35 and 40, that's the breakout trade. Target 650. So there's 30. We want to see 35. The high of this candle is 32. So 34, 35. And then 37, 38. High of that candle's 40. You've got 32 on the ask. Watching for a dip and then the break through 35. I want to see it snap through 35 and go to 40, 45, 50 almost immediately. That would help confirm that we're seeing some short covering. So I would want to see on the level 2, I would want to see on the time and sales on the tape a burst of green. Still watching to add off of dips. Because see how each of those dips, it pops back up right at the 20 moving average support level. Selling for now. Taking the loss, $1,500. Let it pull back and we'll see if it curls back up at the open. If it was going to break, it should have broken already. Off of $6, I can watch for a possible entry. The support back here on the 5 minute is down at 586. So 586 would be a support level. You can see how it's bounced off this level a couple times, 599, back up to 610. Each of those are potential dip spots, but I buy the dip. Usually, I try to buy the ask. I just am getting in. Sometimes I'll get filled between the spread if I'm buying on a red candle because someone is selling when I'm buying. Yeah, I see Sava, but I'm not going to trade it again. I took a good loss on it last week, and it's not that interesting. OCGN, 193 million share float, announces submission of investigational new drug with US FDA to initiate phase 1, 2, or is that half? Clinical trial evaluating gene therapy to treat inherited retinal degeneration. I don't know. About 4 minutes to the bell. So we're kind of in this consolidation range bound trading. You can do dips off the low, but it starts to get a little bit boring, especially as volume declines. So at this point, it's still our leading gapper. And what it does at the open is going to be very interesting. Is it going to be able to break through 635, 640? It's got room to 674 and then 737. Those are levels that I was watching on the daily chart. I'm not in it right now. I'm just watching. Yeah, VLCN is blue sky, but no volume. Somewhat recent IPO. I know we've got the RIVN Rivian IPO, but this one's a little bit different than the one that I traded last week in that it's more hyped up. People are talking about it. You know, it's a competitor to Tesla. I mean, small competitor, but competitor nonetheless. So maybe interesting, but I'm not sure. Float's going to be higher. Risk is high on those. About 2 minutes to the bell. So support level of this channel is 585. The breakout, I guess if we could say 640 ultimately. It only hit 648 for just a second. So really, this is our channel, our range in this area. Volume has declined a little bit, but we'll see. We likely will see volume spike at the open because that's usually what happens. I would probably consider a dip trade off of 87 as being a good level to be a buyer because that's the support level back here. So 87 possible dip, and I may only get filled in the 90s, but still that would be the level to watch. It's not too bad, Mike. So this isn't the strongest setup coming into the open because it's already been kind of selling off here. If it does go up to 635, 640, it may put in one of those candles kind of like this where it's a big top and then it reverses. So right now I'm not really doing anything. I'm just kind of watching to see whether or not it even holds this level. We know the first minute of the day can be quite choppy. So 5-minute opening range breakouts, 1-minute opening range breakouts. Sava for the person who mentioned that. But the volume is pretty light on it. You would want to see it break over 100, and I bet there'll be sellers stacked there. PPSI, I'm not falling into that trap. Not yet. It's got to really prove itself to me. So that was our third bull trap, and it was somewhat predictable that that might happen. So up 10,000 in my retirement, up 7,000 in the main. It's about $17,000 a day as I sit right now. Daily goal is 20,000 in just in terms of average days. When we have really hot momentum, that's certainly a time where I can step up to the plate and be even more aggressive. But LCID, this is one that has a bit more meme interest, which means you're going to have people taking profit at sort of random intervals as it moves higher. And that's going to be create some unpredictable whips. So I try to steer a little clear of those. EVGO, nice move there. Not meme, but has the benefit of being in the electric vehicle space. PPSI, another bull trap. If it didn't get you once, it's going to try a second time. Look at that. 2 in a row. Ugh. Well, and you're right. I did trade GameStop a lot. Of course, at the time, GameStop was the biggest stock. LCID is not the biggest stock today. So it's a bit of trying to figure out which one is most obvious, which is not always easy to do. EHTH is a gap down reversal. We trade these occasionally, but they can be a little risky. So gap down reversal. I don't know, Mike. I don't know. It's hard to say. Yep, I have kids. PPSI, if I was really in the groove, I would probably try to dip that double bottom at 560, but I'm not feeling it right now. It's already, it's the ultimate sort of just slap in the face when it does something like this and then rips up to 650 and gets halted. And, it could happen, but look at these red candles. These are pretty big. So I think that have to just be a little cautious. Short sellers right now are in control on this one, so I have to wait for it to get back into a sort of spot where the bulls reclaim control. And that would be certainly back above VWAP, but even a little bit higher than that. FATBB. Yep. So this one also is a little bit of a curl off of yesterday's move. Because it's not a gap scan, it's not on the gap scan, because it's not feeling super obvious, I'm going to leave it alone. There's FATBB hitting the scan, 2179, moving a little higher. The challenge is that daily chart, and what level does it need to break to really be bullish again? So probably more like $25 a share. The halt level's 22.59 right there, but I'm not in it. Not really able to manage risk on it at the moment. That's okay. There's 23 on the ask. We'll see how high it goes and then can always reevaluate. So I just keep it on another chart. So that's why I have charts spread across these three monitors. So PPSI is on a chart, FATBB is on a chart, had CLN, BLCN, and Tesla. $23 on the ask on FATBB. This was also that yellow level that I was watching, which I sort of think is important to be mindful of. PPSI, could we get that that whip and curl? What level would it be? Maybe for a break of VWAP back over 6 and then 610, maybe. It's a bit of a red to green, but it's up a little higher. So starter at 98, and then add would be 615 on PPSI. Watching 615. Because if we get that red to green and 625, 630, then you're going to get short covering pretty quickly. It's holding. I'm adding at 615. Now we're looking for 638. Because see how it's curling up here? Added at 25. And now let's see if we get 640. So this is a red to green move on PPSI, holding 3,000 shares at the moment. The high of this candle is 38. So this is where a short seller is probably thinking, uh-oh, does this break through 40? And I'm going to add right there for the break and hold 6,000 shares into the halt. Now, I'm going to hold 3,000 into the halt. It's a little risky up here because of how extended it is. But let's just see where it resumes. So showing 677, put the new order at 7. So because of the way this red to green into a halt, it barely gave short sellers an opportunity to cover. It's just a little tricky because it's right at the high, right? It's like right at this level. So that's a little tricky, but, and of course it's a little tricky because it's already done a couple of nasty bull traps where it, popped and then pulled right back. So let's see where it resumes. And then we want to see it hold, if it breaks over 648, which I hope it will, We want to see it hold that level. If it pulls back, that's still okay because we still have this big green candle right here. And yes, as a reminder, the YouTube broadcast does have latency in it because YouTube streaming servers are not ultra low latency. We use ultra low latency streaming servers for students that are streaming my broadcast that are members of Warrior Trading. So from the dashboard, they're Warrior Starter, Warrior Pro students. They can enter here. And then they have access to the scanners and they have access to a separate feed that's ultra low latency. REV hitting the scanners. So this is one of those ones, it's Revlon. I'm not going to take a trade on this at the moment. If there was something maybe a bit more obvious, but I'm going to keep an eye out for things hitting scans, but that's not going to be one for me. PPSI showing a flat resumption right now, which could set up for a dip and rip. So short sellers may be, lining up here. And if it is bullish and it breaks, then that's where I would look for more volume for short covering. Room on the daily up to 737, 674, then 737 pivot, and then big window up to 1024. I think the good news on this, thanks Diggy. I think the good news on this is that it is the most obvious stock today. It's got 43 million shares of volume. So this is what most people are focusing on. Bulls and bears. And I think it's pretty fair to say this is a pretty bullish chart. Big move, a pullback right to the VWAP, and a curl. Yes, you've got this red candle on high volume. That's not great. Yes, you do have a couple bear trap or bull traps. That's not great either. But the big picture is still, it's a pretty bullish looking chart to me. So what would need to happen is it needs to break through 650. Now this candle, this green candle is formed. It's done. It's going to look like that forever because the 5-minute candle is closed. So when this resumes trading, which will be in about, looks like about 90 seconds, when it resumes trading, we'll have a new candle that'll open, but that candle will only have about 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes of time. So it's not going to have super high volume. Probably it's probably going to be a slightly lower volume candle, which is a factor of the halt. And we'll see if it's able to break through 650. But if it doesn't and we get pullback, then what we have is continued consolidation below this level. It continues to be our range, and we'll continue to look and see whether or not there's a breakout trade in there. So 1 minute to resumption. I'm showing 652. POLA, that one would be a bit of a distraction right now. So I'm just going to keep focusing on PPSI. Showing 52 resumption. So putting my order at 675, obviously most bullish would be that it dip and rips into a second halt up around 7, but that's quite bullish. So over 65 and 75 would be spots I would look to add for a possible second halt. Right now showing a 56 resumption. Added at 66, next add 75. Add at 75, there's 80. Next adds 85. So we're looking for holding 2,000 shares right now, 68. This is a little bit of a pullback. Topping tail, right up on that yellow descending resistance line. So it's now come back down to about 20. Red candle, and we've only got a little bit of time left on this 5-minute candle. The first 1 minute to make a new high would be over 65. So I'm going to put an order at 70. Added at 60, it's holding the $0.50. Next add is 70. Added at 70. There's 80. Took the profit. New order goes at 7. So added at 90 right there. Next add is 95. We're going to look for the breakthrough 7 and then a possible squeeze up to 725 halt level. Watching for an add at $7. This is a 1 minute pullback. That 5-minute candle closed green. High volume added there at 7. Now add is 715. So watch 715 as we come a little higher. So it's chopping out a little bit. Holding 3,000 shares. Watching for a dip. Added at 89 for a dip, and then the retest to $7. We're up 112%. Obviously, back of mind target on this would be 725, 750, 737 is a daily level that we were watching. So we want to see it pop back through 7. Watching dips. That candle closed red, so I'm going to sell the rest for right now. The high of this candle is 16. So after 4 or 5 green candles, we get a red candle. That's predictable. So sitting up 18,800 in my retirement plus 7,000, so about 24,000 on the day, 25,000. This is a light volume pullback right now, so I'm going to take a starter at 65. Add would be over 85. Looking for this to curl back up for a retest of 7. We like light volume pullbacks. They're bullish. Added at 78 right there. We want to see if dips keep getting bought up on this, and if it curls back up over $7. Now up a little over 20. That was a nice trade. New order goes at 7. Nice dip. Hesitated a little bit up there at 85. New order goes at 705. Our high is 716. Add back at 85. Next add's 95. We're starting to set up for our first 1 minute candle to make a new high. It's not going to take much for this to squeeze back over 715. Added right there at 7 into this level. Now we're looking for our first 1 minute candle to make a new high. There's 710. There you go. Looking for an add at 707. Adding at 707 there for the break through the highs. Very nice. Still holding 3,600 shares at 92. New order 715, watching the level 2. Added at 708. There's a big bid right there. So as soon as I saw that bid pop up, I added for the squeeze through 715. I'm going to be a buyer at 715 for a squeeze up to 737. Watching, added on the dip at 97, buying the dip. Now looking for 715 to break, and then 720. So we've got 7-9, watch 12, 13, there we go. Can we get through 15? Adding at 710, second attempt through 14, 15. And then looking for a pop up to 725. The fact that it's holding 20,000 share buyer there at 7. It's just got to break that level. That's that kind of, I look at it as sort of a watershed spot. Watching for dips, added at 93 to buy the dip. for the curl back up through 7. We're still on a nice chart, especially on the 1 minute, for the curl through 7:15. I think this is still in the hands of the bulls, and a break over 7:15 will certainly confirm that. New order is going to be watching here 7:08. See how the 10-second chart is pulling back? This is a dip for me, so add it at 90. Dip trades, 90, and then add spots. We get those bottoming tails, and then we look for the break on this 1 minute ABCD setup. Watch the add through 7:15. It's a 10-second ABCD. It's also a 1 minute ABCD. There's 10 on the ask. It's a little choppy right here. I want to see it break through right away. New order at 7:15. Watching now to add back on dips. The lowest pullback here was 684. Holding small size at 699. We're starting to get a 5-minute pullback on this. That candle closed green, which is good. Low of that pullback is 62. Just quick add at 79. There was a large buyer in the 70s. Cost basis is 680. See 90,000 share buyer there. It's getting sold into. We'll keep PPSI on watch. So that was an interesting spot there because it dipped and then came right back up over that level. So that may end up being on PPSI a bear trap. Adding there at 7:08 for the breakthrough 7:15. This is a flat top breakout on our 5-minute chart. Watching. Looks like another one of those bear traps. So gave back 5,000 on that. And I think with that, I'll call it a day with 27,000 in profit. So that ended up being a bull trap right up there. Broke 715, but only to 727. I didn't even see that, and then it dropped. So another bull trap. So 20,000 in my retirement, plus 7,000 in the main, $27,000 on the day on PPSI. Was up about 32, but gave back a little off the top. So giving back a little off the top, no big deal, but certainly want to see those levels hold. And notice POLA, similar bull trap right there. So that's going to be it for me today. A good start to the week, and I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow. And just like today with PPSI, I'll be looking for stocks moving up quickly, hopefully with news, and we'll see if we do get some more opportunities. Kind is one of these stocks where I am a bit hesitant because this is the type that kind of became like a sidetrack for me last week, you know, where it wasn't the obvious one. The float's a bit higher. I would jump in and then take a quick loss. So I don't want to have that happen to me today. So be grateful to be green, and we'll try again tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow I can do a little bit better than today, but a good day all in all.